Bonsoir, madame, monsieur. That's for Rennie, my only French viewer. A friend of mine now, he lives out here in Bangkok. From France, as I say. I know he's watching the stream. So, Rennie, good effort there. I'm sure I probably screwed that right up. But good evening to everyone else. Right. First two people I have to mention tonight, I want to say thank you very, very much to A then. That's very generous of you. But hi, but I'm first with a piece of pear of coconuts. Thanks a lot. Nice one. And also, I'm going to say a big hi to Terry T, who's just become a member today. So hopefully, Terry, will see you in the members stream later on. We do some interesting stuff in the member stream, as we do here, but it gets a little bit more lively in there. Right, okay, guys, who we got in? We've got 105 people straight in off the back. That's great. And I'll just start saying hi to everyone. Jesse, how you doing? Yeah, hey, I'm first. You are indeed, sir. I'm going to have to skip a few of these comments because I've noticed a lot of people were speaking to each other before I even came on the before I went live tonight. Yeah, absolutely agree with that, Jesse. Smash that like button. Why not? Florida Gator, how you doing? Been a while. Okay. And to any fathers out there today in the US and in the UK and probably some other countries that I don't know about, happy Father's Day. I'm a father myself, as you know. I got a nice online card from my two daughters today. I thought they'd forgotten. Actually, my eldest daughter sent me a text saying, happy Father's Day, Dad. My youngest one didn't send me anything. I was a little bit upset because we had a little bit of a fallout. And I thought, why is she not? Whatever it is, you could say happy Father's Day, right? But she was up till 5 in the morning last night. So I have to excuse her. Microphone looks a bit high. Yeah, so all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. It's kind of commercial, isn't it? When I was young, it was happy. You had Mother's Day, and that was it. There was no Father's Day. But then the supermarkets and retail got in on the act and thought, hey, let's have a Father's Day. We'll be having a Brother's Day next, and then a Sister's Day. Lots and lots of messages between Martin Ryder and Florida Gator, so we'll whiz past them, and I'll say hi to Enormous Johnson. How you doing, Martin Ryder? What's the action like over there? All right, so you're talking about Vietnam, Martin. Something I just want to clarify. Well, nobody can clarify it, but I'll give you an opinion. You know, they were talking at the beginning of the year from dropping the 60-day tourist stamp. It's not a visa, as you know, visa exempt stamp. We got 60 days, and they were talking about dropping it back down to 30 days because some people were abusing it, and there was just a lot of talk about it. It's kind of disappeared, like a lot of things do in Thailand. You know, sometimes they'll talk about something, really concentrate on it for a week or 2 weeks, and then you never hear from it again. The Thai government have got a lot of other things on their mind at the moment. You know, there's a bit of a conflict going on the Cambodian border, if you haven't heard, disputes over land barriers and things like that. I'll get into that a little bit more later. They've got that on their mind. You know, they've just had the congratulations to Miss World, the first Thailand Miss World in history ever. Since the Miss World began in 1972. I still remember. Do you remember the Eurovision Song Contest hosted by Terry Wogan? God, those were the days. Awful. But yeah, sincerely, I'm sure Miss Thailand, no way, is watching my stream. I mean, no way. But if she was, I would say congratulations. And I'm sure me saying congratulations would really make her day, right? But yeah, very good, very good. I put up a video of her coming through the airport when she came back. She got a hero's welcome, quite rightly so, and she was with a white woman holding her hand, a foreigner, you know, all the way. And forgive my ignorance, but I looked up on ChatGPT and Google, and I was trying to find out who the woman was, presuming it was her mother, because her mother went everywhere. If it was her mother, holding hands with her, and ChatGPT and Google couldn't find any information about her. So then I put in, is she a foreigner? And still they couldn't find any information. You know, I'm thinking, well, there's a white woman holding hands with Miss World all the way through the airport, looking really happy. It's got to be her mother, right? But is Miss World half Farang? I don't know. I honestly don't know. If anybody else does, don't take a guess, but let me know. Anders Bergman, how you doing? Tada, my daily email master there. How you doing? I'm eating macas with my drop bear on the beach. Lovely. Which beach? Somewhere in the UK? I stuffed myself tonight. I'm going to have to go back on the diet. I don't know if you can notice. I put a few kilos back on, but I made myself something I haven't had from the UK today for ages. Mince with onions and peas in it. And I had a tin of new potatoes. God, it was nice. And to finish off with, it was somebody's birthday the other day, and they gave me a piece of chocolate cake. And I never eat sweet things, especially sugary things, chocolate and sweets. And I just put it in the fridge because they gave me it. I thought, I don't want to throw it away because they very kindly gave me it. And I thought, who can I give it to? Maybe one of the cleaners. And I ate this massive dinner tonight about 6 o'clock, and I opened the fridge, and there was this chocolate cake just looking at me through the plastic saying, "Daddy, you know you want me, eat me." I gave in, I ate it. So there won't be any more chocolate cake around here for a while. Let's put the currencies up. They're not doing great at the moment. I just remembered to do this before the stream started. There we go. Pounds dropped down again. It was 44 plus last week. It's now 43.97, as is the US dollar. That's dropped. The Australian dollar's doing really badly at the moment, as a lot of other currencies are. Yeah, let's hope it changes. I'll leave them up there for a while. Rio, how you doing? Rennie Rio, rather. Good afternoon, Peter, and everybody. Looking forward to a great stream. I hope it is a great stream. Doug Grink, Father's Day here in the US. UK as well, Doug. Right, Scuba Steve, Pistol Pete. I like that name, Pistol Pete. I used to know a taxi driver called Pistol Pete, but it wasn't a good. We didn't call him Pistol Pete. It wasn't a good nickname for something good he did. How you doing? Haven't been able to join the stream for a while. Yeah, I did notice, Stephen. It's good to see you in tonight. Hopefully, we'll have a good one. Ty Billy Boy, hello, Peter. Good afternoon, everyone. And Dylan Cotton, good afternoon. How you doing? Remy, there you are, your smiling face. I hope you enjoyed my my little bit of French, if you could call it that, at the beginning of the stream. Richard number 5, hi Peter, hi all. Should be a good stream, thank you. Jesse, congratulations, by the way. I can't remember if I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, and I hope you don't mind me mentioning it, but congratulations to you and your young Thai bride, as it were. She's pregnant. I don't know, you didn't say if it was a boy or a girl. It's probably too early to let us know, but congratulations. I'm glad she's settling in over there, right there in the US of A, as they say. GC, hi Peter, watching this live from, where's that? Boracay, Philippines. I get a lot of people speak to me about the Philippines. You know, some people kind of like, I won't say hate it. Some people really love the Philippines, and some people don't really like the Philippines that much. And I went there a long time ago, probably 28 years ago. So I can't really, I remember my trip when I went there, but I can't really opinionate on it. But what I can, is that a real word? Opinionate? I can actually give you my opinion on what people tell me. The biggest draw, people who come here, and this is not me, okay? This is what people tell me. People tell me the biggest thing that they like about the Thailand is, one, English is spoken fluently, so you don't have all this Google Translate like you do here in Thailand. And two, I forgot what two was, actually. Something to do with the people. They're fairly warm, but they are here in Thailand as well. But most people said the downside was they didn't like local Philippine food. It wasn't a patch on Thai food. And they also said the infrastructure was not very good compared to Thailand. Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere quite like Thailand, is there? I had... I've been, I put Facebook videos up now, and, I've just done another video with Mark from One Stop Visa. I released it to the members. And let me get rid of this. It's a bit annoying, isn't it, after a while? Where are we? There we are. So, yeah, I've just done another visa with Mark from One Stop Visa down there in Soy 6 Pattaya. And we're just discussing changes in banking. They've changed the banking rules. I won't get into that now. I did a video. But we talk about that. We talk about visas, people abusing the destination Thailand video. The Bangkok, it's been promoted as a long-term visa. Bangkok Bank look at it as a tourist visa. And we talk about all these different things. And I get a lot of comments from people, and they say, oh, Thailand's so, they don't want foreigners here anymore. It's terrible. The rules are so bad. I'm not coming here again. And I'm going to go to Vietnam, or I'm going to go to the Philippines. But actually, I personally think the Thais are doing a good job. It's not about making us jump through hoops. I mean, they're trying to protect their people and their country, aren't they? You've only got to look at the UK, what a mess it's in. And you know why? If I get into what I want to talk about, people will call me racist. So I'm not going to talk about it. But read between the lines. You know what's going on in the UK? We've got the worst government we've ever had in history. Total liars. And it's a free-for-all over in the UK now. Unless you're British, then you're not entitled to anything, okay? But look what Thailand's doing. You can't buy land. Foreigners can't buy land, and people say, oh, that's racist. It's not. The reason foreigners can't buy land is because land prices would go up and up and up, because the Chinese had come in, they'd buy up all the land, and the Thais get married and they can't afford to buy a family home. That's what happens when you don't protect it. Plus, they don't, the UK and America, full of foreign criminals from everywhere around the globe. Thailand, they don't last very long at all. They get snapped up, so they're protecting the people, they're protecting the land. And I might sound biased against Thailand because I live here and I do love it. But I think they're doing a great job. When people say, oh, they're too strict, they don't want foreigners in here anymore. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think that if you come to Thailand and you do everything you're supposed to do, that you do what they ask you to do. You fill in the right forms. You don't abuse your visa. You pay your way. You're polite. It's a fantastic country to live in. Honestly, I'm living proof. 3 years now. Not that, this guy's been living here 10, 20 years, but, you don't want to listen to those kind of negative comments. Thank you, Remy. I'll take that as a compliment. Perfect. Okay. Be happy, Pat. I'm French and Canadian. Okay, Pat, I hope it was okay for you as well. Thai Billy Boy, you're looking very smart and dapper, Peter. Really? In my decathlon t-shirt, which costs 179 baht. These are great. These are. If you don't know what decathlon is, it's a big sports shop. They sell everything from tennis rackets to camping equipment to trainers to shirts. And these are really a thin material and really great for Thailand. But the problem is it used to fit me really nice, but because I've got a bit of a podge on me again, it's starting to get, shorter and shorter as I go fatter and fatter. I'm still not back up to the weight I was originally, but I've got to do something about what I am now. The only thing about when you lose a lot of weight, when I was really slim in the face, I looked much older. That's the only downside. Right. Stephen James, this has to be the lowest season in a long time. Very quiet, Stephen. You're right. I went down to, I was in Pattaya last week. I went down there to do a couple of videos. I interviewed Grant from the Candy Club, one of the most successful bars. He doesn't class himself as Tree Town. It's on the corner of Tree Town and Soy Buakhao. Nice guy. Place was jammed every night. As I say, I interviewed Mark from One Stop Visa, and I had a guy called Gary who has a podcast. He actually interviewed me as well. So I haven't seen that video yet. I might stick it up on Facebook when it's done. But yeah, Stephen, you're right. It's quiet. When I was in Pattaya, I don't really go out late at night. I went to the Candy Club and I'm out early, kind of 9:30. But I like to get up early and I'm back in the room by about 10. I have a few beers in the room, catch up on my emails and everything. But I did notice, I've kind of gone right off. I'll probably get some flack for this, but I've kind of gone right off Pattaya recently. The whole, what's the word I'm trying to look for? I know the word. I know the word. I just can't think what it is. The whole kind of scene has changed as far as the people who go to Pattaya. Again, read between the lines. It's completely different now, and it's just the way I find it is not. I don't really like it how it is now. And I've just decided this time, when I came back in the car this time, I was thinking about it. I thought, you know what, unless I have to go down to Pattaya to sort out my visa or banking, which I did this trip, or I've got some kind of a business down there, something I have to take care of, I don't think I'm going to go to Pattaya again. It's still a good place if you want to go and party and, you want to holiday girlfriends, you like staying out in the bars every night. We've all done that. I've done that. But, at the end of the day, I'm 65 now. Okay. I am an old man, however way I want to look at it. I might, I've got white hair, a wrinkly skin. I'm still fairly healthy, but I am an old man. And by definition, an old man of 65 doesn't particularly want to go to go-go bars or hang out till 2 a.m. So I've decided I am going to move down to Hua Hin 100%. It's just when now. I'm going down there on the 22nd. I've hooked up with a couple of agents. I'm going to be looking at some houses. The other reason, what I like about Hua Hin is that, I've been in an apartment for 3 years, 1 bedroom, a bathroom. It's a nice apartment, but at the end of the day, I'm in an apartment. I want to be able to open my back door and be able to step into a bit of a garden, have a carport where I can put my car on a trickle charge where I can't do here. I'd like to get another dog. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. But rents are cheaper down there. And I've just made up my mind now. I don't think it'll affect my YouTube channel too much because most of what I do on YouTube is talking to the camera like this anyway. And I go out and make the occasional vlog. Like I went to Cambodia, didn't I? I did that. I always do the hotel reviews. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to film down there in Hua Hin. I'll try and do different bits and pieces. There's already a couple of YouTubers down there in Hua Hin, but it's just, for me, it suits me. And I think I've just made up my mind, and I think that's it now. Right, Robert the Chosen One. Hi, Peter and Mongers. Hello from Cowboy today. Just chilling outside the Tilak, low-key evening. One of my favourite bars, Robin. I don't go out very often, but when I still occasionally go out, there's 2 bars that I'll never fail to go in Cowboy. One is Country Road with a live band, and the other one is a Tilak bar. I like the vibe. It's nobody hassles you in there. The aircon's good, and you can sit and have a drink, and just watch what's going on, as they say. Have a good night anyway. Scuba Steve, Peter, when are your daughters coming back over? No plans, Steve. You know, it's very expensive for me. They can't afford to come over by themselves. 2 return airfares, hotels. They don't want to stay in the apartment with me. You know, then I've got to spend time running them around and paying for buffet river cruises and all this sort of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe when they write to me and say, Dad, we really miss him, we really want to see you, which will probably be in about 1,000 years, and they'll come over again. Troy, hi from a sunny Birmingham. Good stuff. Roberto, the real Boz 2000. Long time, Pete. Long time viewer here since COVID. Cheers. I appreciate that. Good to have you in. Paul Hoskins, another long time viewer. Why isn't there a granddad and a grandma, May? Don't stop, Paul. You'll give somebody the idea and they'll go off and do it. Tadder, I don't think I have any kids. I don't think. All right. Deek, how you doing, Deek? Haven't seen you the stream for a while. Deek, the driver. Hi, Pete. I hope to catch up with you for lunch when I'm over in October. Yeah, I'll still be in Bangkok, Deek. Depends what I'm doing. I meet a lot of viewers, but I can't plan long term. I can't say I'll meet you in 6 weeks on this day at this time. Best thing, just drop me a line when you're in Bangkok. I'll suggest a time and a day that's good for both of us. We'll have lunch or something, yeah? Stephen James podcast, okay? Dylan, how you doing? Dog, Peter, I'm a French speaker as well, and you pronounced it well. Don't worry. Okay, I wasn't really worried about. I mean, I used to work for a Accor, who's a French company, you know, and I picked up a few words. All the managers were French. You go for dinner with them. It used to take like I was telling Rennie this. You know, you go for dinner with few English guys. It's like pigs at a table. It's gone in like 10 minutes, and off they go drinking. But you sit down with a bunch of French guys to have dinner. It's like a 3-hour affair, you know, and some memorable dinners there, and I managed to pick up a few words. Wes, how you doing? Another viewer that I recently met. Good evening, Peter, from a cold Mel. And I was told I've not got to say Melbourne. I got the Australians told me don't say Melbourne. It's Melbourne, right? Where's Melbourne? I hope I got it right that time. Yeah, it was nice to meet up with you. I think I've actually, because I showed the photograph last week. I think I've deleted it now. Yeah, I'm going to make a montage of all the viewers I've made in about a year of time. I'm keeping all the pictures, but we had a great lunch. We had a good laugh, and yeah, hopefully we'll meet up again sometime in the future. Bottle Baby, how you doing? Happy rainy season. I tell you what, this week has been okay. We got the odd shower, but it's coming hard up from Monday. I'll give you a clue how hard it's coming. Just check out that photograph. Look. That's going to be, that's going to be an everyday occurrence. Well, that's the thing, though, is it? It's not cold in Thailand when it rains. Paul Hoskins can't beat a bar girl brownie. That sounds a bit cryptic, Paul. Good morning from Toronto, says Glenn. How you doing, Glenn? Good morning. Real Deal TV. Hey, Peter, I haven't been to Thailand at Christmas and New Year before. Should I book my hotel ahead, or should it be okay to book it when I'm there? No, book it ahead. You know, I mean, when you come to Thailand on your own, Christmas and New Year is a big deal, especially if you're going to a seaside beach town like Pattaya. Although it's a Buddhist country, they're very accommodating as far as tourists go. You know, it's a big party time, as is Halloween night and all the other, silly things that they have, as I class them. But yeah, no, definitely book it ahead. It'll be very, very busy. It's high season for one, and the fact that it's Christmas, New Year's Eve, you might not even get a room, if you don't book it ahead. Greetings from Los Angeles, California, says Willie. Is that Willie Mackett? Willie Mackett. I hope I didn't screw your name up there, Willie. Thanks for coming in. Dylan says, I love the Philippines. I go there all the time. Avoid Manila. Okay. I've heard there's some really nice islands and stuff. Well, I haven't heard. I know there's some nice islands. Parky, good afternoon, Peter, and everyone in the stream. What happened to your new introductory AI music, Peter? I thought it was really good. I don't know if you heard that. I put it up on YouTube. I'll play half a minute of it because it's quite good. It's 3.5 minutes long, but I won't sit here and play the whole thing. It goes something like this.
He flew from London, left the rain behind. Pattaya's neon lights were calling his mind.
So I was going to do it as an intro, but I did it really quick, and it was a bit boring with a grey card. And I just used my usual one. A great song, though. It's AI, and you just tell it. Somebody actually did it for me, but I've got the program now. I can't remember what it's called. But it's fantastic. You can make music. You just put it into an AI and tell it what you want the theme to be, what you want to mention. this song, it talks about sick buffaloes and I need money for my family. And, you know, the guy falls in love and it's such a good song as well. Very, very good. Jessie. Yes, she's settling okay. We remodeled the house, as you mentioned to me, yeah, and she doesn't like the dust. We went to Thai Costco last Saturday and encountered rioting, as you do in the States. A lot of rioting in Ireland at the moment. She thinks that she was ridiculous. Well, I'm sure she wasn't. Dylan says, in Australia, China is buying everything. Same in London. It's either the Russians or Chinese that bought up most of London. Tada, PM Peter. Okay. Carl, nice shirt. Thank you very much, Carl. You're not with the fashion police, are you? No, it's the fashion police say bad things. They don't say nice things. I haven't had the fashion police in for a while. Colin, hey, Peter, love the content. Keep going. Videos are so informative. I will never go back to the UK. I get nightmares about going back. Do you know what, Colin? I presume you live in Thailand when you say you've never gone back. You know what my biggest fear is getting seriously ill like Ed Sweeney got. It could happen to any of us. I go to regular checkups at the hospital, what have you. I'm not insured because they said they wouldn't insure me for a heart attack. I've got about £22,000 stuck in a high interest account here in Thailand in baht, which would cover a heart attack. You know, people always say to me, oh, you've been out the UK 2 years now. NHS won't treat you. I mean, in theory, that is the rule. But you know what it's like in England. If I was seriously ill and I went back, they're not going to look at my passport and say, well, you've been gone for 3 years, so we're just going to put you over there and you're going to die. All right, think about it logically. Tada says, I like French fries. That's my problem, Tada. I do as well. Kev12364. Peter, no country is perfect. My stepdaughter, who is 28 years old, would love to leave Thailand and move to the West to live. Yeah, a lot of Thais have got this misconception. I remember I was watching a documentary. It wasn't Thailand. I think I've mentioned this before. I think it was Michael Palin, something like that. He was in China and it was in the 80s, okay? And he had he was going around China and of course he had a girl with him who was nothing funny. I mean, she was a guide basically. And that wasn't a front. She was really a guide, but she spoke really, really good English. She'd learned in China. She'd never been abroad. And he was asking all the questions and she was answering everything. And it was quite entertaining. Towards the end of the video, and this is serious, towards the end of the video, she said, if it was Michael Palin, she said, Mr. Palin, can I ask you something? And she really thought this. She said, is it true that every Englishman in England, every English gentleman carries a newspaper, an umbrella, and a bowler hat? She had this vision like everybody in London wears pinstripe suits, bowler hats, and carries a brolly, you know. And if you dropped her in the centre of London, what she'd see would shock her, really. Chris, hi, Peter. It's been a number of months since I've been here. How's your move to Hua Hin going? I haven't actually started, Chris. I've just made up my mind that I'm going to move to Hua Hin. I'm going to start looking at some houses. If you've got plenty of cash, you can rent a real nice villa with a swimming pool down there for about 30,000 baht a month. I'm looking more in the region of 15 to 20. And what I'll get for that is something a bit better than a townhouse, like a standalone 2-bedroom house, which has got a carport for my car, obviously. You know, a couple of bedrooms, lounge, kitchen, nothing overly fancy, but a lot more room. I've got 51 square meters here. Okay. The houses we're looking at were like 80 to livable area, about 80 to 100 square meters plus an outside area. So I'm looking forward to it, but I think what I'm going to have to do, and I hope I don't lose subscribers, but I've got no choice really. I think when the time comes when I've got to pack everything up, arrange the movers, you know, get my scooter and car down to Hua Hin, you know, settling, get everything. I think I'm going to have to completely break away from YouTube for 2 to 3 weeks, which will mean no live streams, no stories, nothing, because I've been doing this for 5 years now. And you know, I've got a life as well. And sometimes you've just got to take Bangkok Pat took a month off, didn't he? Somebody else took a month off. I don't think I need a month, but I think I was thinking about it the other day. I don't want to lose subscribers, but you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks just to settle my life down. I think I'm going to have to do it. Nick Jones says, yeah, lots of yobs. I think I'm way behind in the comments now. Where are we? 222, and that's not bad. Leatherneck says Hua Hin is nice. Tada rest. I'll put that up there. Look. R.I.P. Air India. Can you believe only one survivor? 11A was the seat he was sitting in. No jokes. I was going to say something there. Terrible. Terrible. Well, I'm not going to say anything more about it. People lose their lives. Obviously, we've all flown out of wherever we fly from. I was going to say the UK. We've all flown. I've flown for years. You know, when you see that aircraft take off, we've all been in an aircraft taking off like that, and you're sitting back a little bit tense, and then it gets higher and higher and higher, and everything's good. You know, you're up there drinking your complimentary whatever it is. But to be sitting there and all of a sudden the plane drops out of the sky like that, terrifying, and it's all over, isn't it? It's game over. Terrible. Let's cheer it up a little bit. Get depressed here. Right, David Piper. We'll probably eventually move to Hua Hin as well. The reason is that I believe Pattaya will continue to grow and get too busy and overcrowded for my taste. And that's exactly right, David. I mean, the one thing I like about Hua Hin, and don't get me wrong when I say this, because you don't get the crowds of demographics. That was the word I was looking for. Okay, let me not mention the names of those people. You all know who they are. Okay. The demographics of the people in Pattaya now, the big crowds who walk around at night along the beach road, them and the Russians, I'll mention them, and the massive groups of Chinese who walk through Walking Street with a flag to tour groups. They don't spend any money. I just had enough of all that. I don't want it, you know. I've noticed in Hua Hin, I lived in Hua Hin for a month, actually. I went down there for some kind of peace and quiet. I've never mentioned this before, but before I moved out here, I just couldn't take it with my family. You know the story. When we broke up and everything, I just couldn't take it anymore. And I just jumped on a plane and I went to Hua Hin. And I just booked into a hotel and I spent a month in Hua Hin just by myself, like just thinking about life in general. And there's a very big Swiss community down there in Hua Hin. And you don't get those big groups. You know what I'm talking about. It's a completely sorry, I keep touching my nose, but I think it's the aircon, you know, it makes it itchy. It's just totally different. Some people find Hua Hin boring, you know, they want that party life of Pattaya. I understand that. But like David said, you know, the city's beginning to grow. I still remember Pattaya 27, 28 years ago. Like you come down the highway now from Bangkok and eventually it looks like Las Vegas, you know, all those tall buildings. I can still remember when, other than the Dusit Thani at the end of the beach, the tallest building in Pattaya was probably 8 to 12 floors, no more than that. You didn't have places like Terminal 21, the other big mall near Walking Street. I think Mike's Shopping Mall was there. That was kind of like the trendiest mall at the time. But I remember the Second Road. So when you come up from Walker Street, you turn left onto Second Road. There was virtually nothing on the right-hand side. When you go down all those soys now that lead to Soy Buakhao, that was just like Thai neighborhoods, you know, where the Thais lived. You know, there was nothing really. And even on the Second Road on the left, I can remember big plots of land where there was nothing, you know. Like David said, it's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow, and it won't be a quaint little seaside town anymore, will it? Tada, Peter should get a French bulldog. I don't actually like them, Tada. Paul, having worked in the hotel business, are there any tips you can give us? Yeah, don't work on a Sunday, Paul. Franco, how you doing? In the house, just parked up. Nice to see you. Actually, I was going to ring you today, Franco, but I thought if I ring you today, you're going to think I only ring you on stream day and I forget you every other day. So I'll try and remember to give you a ring in the week, okay? The Gormless Twit, Miss Melbourne. Melbourne, okay, yeah. Where's Melbourne pronounced as Mel? That just shows me how far behind in the comments I are, because I mentioned that 10 minutes ago. So what I'm going to do, chaps and chapesses, let me say thank you to Lou. Demographic is same as London and Eastern European. Well said, and thank you for the super chat there. What I'm going to do, guys, because I'm so far behind in the chat, I'm going to skip down a few. So if I miss yours, don't take it personal. Just write it again, and hopefully I'll catch up. Okay, I'm going to start with Mr. Rugged Cat. Okay. Cool, tuning in from Sharjah. That's in the Middle East. Yeah, I know where that is because I worked in Dubai, Bahrain, and they sent me to Syria for it. I didn't like Syria, but Sharjah. Well, that was that's not far from. Is it Dubai or Abu Dhabi? I can't remember. About an hour's drive from one of them. I think it's Dubai, right? You can let me know. Paul, we will be hearing Peter's song in the bar soon. I won't even try to pronounce your name. Is it Vida? Vida? Hi, how you doing? Okay. Wes, we were talking Wednesday week ago when Ying's mum passes. We wouldn't mind living in Hua Hin. Early September, we should be in Thailand. Yeah, I can think of worse places, Wes. Martin Ryder says the NHS don't even check on foreigners. True. Then book the hotel before flying, as they ask you where you will stay on the plane. That's a good point, actually. Maybe they send you home if you haven't booked a hotel. Yeah, that is a good point. I don't know if they'd send you home, but yeah, because you're supposed to fill all that information in online. It's a TM30, isn't it? You used to remember in the old days, you'd have the table down, you'd borrow a little pen, you'd be trying to write this information, and you just happen to hit turbulence every time you wanted to fill it out. Okay. Mike Lee, I'm from South Florida, 55, been to Thailand 4 times in the last 2 years, love it there, just can't do it full time. Thankfully, I can afford America. I know what you mean, and I do, Mike, I do know a number of guys who spend half the time in Thailand and half their time here, or they'll do kind of like 3 months here and 6 months in their own country. And I'm kind of quite unique in the fact that I don't go back at all. I mean, I left with a big suitcase. It's right there, a meter away from me. Okay. It's massive, really. I left with a big suitcase from London and Heathrow 3 years ago. I haven't been back, and I've got no plans to go back. And yeah, a lot of people miss family members and stuff like that, don't they? I've got no ties to the UK. There's nothing for me to go back there. I've got my daughters, but they can come here, can't they? All right, Paul. Okay, Vida, Peter, what are the characteristics of the Thais you appreciate the most and the least? So in other words, what do I like about the Thais the most and the least? I think what I like about them the most is their helpfulness. I mean, some people say, oh, yeah, they're nasty. I mean, they don't listen to that. I think what I like about the Thais most of all is you can smile at a perfect stranger, and 9 times out of 10, they'll smile back at you. They're very, very polite with us foreigners. If you don't mess them up, rub them up the wrong way. You know, they kind of leave you alone. You know, if you get a Thai girlfriend, they don't look down their noses or start calling her names and things like that. They're very, very, very easygoing, very, very easygoing. But what I don't like about them, really, I suppose, if I had a gun against my head and somebody said, look, you've got to choose something. What I don't like about them is this loss of face thing, you know, because sometimes it gets into everyday life, and it's so sometimes it becomes so stupid. I'll give you an example. Okay, so I had a fried bread. I was in a restaurant. This is a year ago. Okay, I was in a restaurant, local restaurant. I fancied a fry up English breakfast. Okay, so I was in this restaurant. I ordered this full English breakfast, and the sausages looked beautiful, as did the beans and the eggs and the toast and everything. I thought, wow, this looks good. Ready for this. Now, when I cut into the sausages, they were literally pink inside. I won't say raw, but they were pink, and I like my sausages well done, all meat well done for me. And so what he's done, he's obviously cooked it, but on a very high heat, so it's made them nice and crispy outside, but they're kind of pink inside. So I said to the waitress, would you mind the sausages could you cook the sausages? I didn't say they weren't cooked, but I said to the waitress who spoke English, I said, would you mind asking the chef to cook these? Now, she didn't like the fact that she had to go back into the kitchen, not because she wasn't bothered or she didn't want to do the walk, but I know that giving that plate back to the chef here in Thailand and saying that he wants the sausages done because they're pink in the middle is basically like saying to him, you're not doing your job properly, which is a loss of face, supposedly. And I don't like, you know, it runs into everyday things in life, and I don't like that. You know, like another thing, for instance, if you're walking down Sukhumvit Road and you say to a Thai, excuse me, if they speak English, right? Where is the Thailandbound hotel? Is it that way or that way? They'll think about it and they'll say, it's that way. And a lot of the time they don't have a clue, but they won't say to you, I don't know. They'll never say, I don't know where it is. Or like if I'm in the UK, for instance, somebody says, can you tell me where Thailandbound hotel is? I'll say, I don't know it, sorry. And that's it. But here they'll just say, yeah, it's over there. That's probably the only thing I don't like about the actual Thai themselves. But other than that, they're great. A lot better than a lot of people I'd meet in my own country. Lou, she would see no English gentlemen in London, but she will see British men. Yeah, some British men. Read between the lines again. Real Deal TV. You're my favorite channel, and I would never unsubscribe. Cheers, thanks. Just what I want to hear. I get so much shit with the trolls and the armchair trillers, the armchair critics, that sometimes it's kind of nice to get a compliment. URL Droid Superbot. Why is suddenly there a lot of YouTube videos saying people are leaving Thailand? It's smoke and mirrors. I think it's smoke and mirrors. You know, because the rules. Thailand's like every other country, you know, they're tightening up their rules. They're tightening up people who abuse visas. And it can be difficult here. But like I said to you, if you do things properly, you won't have any hassles. And people just want an easy life. A lot of people are lazy and they just go for the lazier option. You know, people will say like, you know, in Vietnam, they do a 45-day tourist visa, right? It's 60 days here at the moment. And I get a lot of comments on when I make videos. I get a lot of comments from people who say, oh, you know, Thailand's just making it too tough for tourists now. Sod them if they don't want my money. I'm not going back there. But whether they're actually leaving, a lot of people say I'm never coming back, or I've been living here, I'm leaving. I'm not so sure that all those people who say those things actually do it. It's one thing saying it in an angry rant, isn't it? It's another thing packing your bags and going. I mean, I went to Cambodia at the right time, didn't I? Do you remember? I went to Cambodia about 3 weeks ago just to check it out, to look at the famous Angkor Wat and just see what it was all about. I thought, well, if I can't jump through the hoops in Thailand and one day I have to leave, I definitely don't want to go back to the UK. Where do I want to go to? And I thought I'll check out Siam Reap, and it was very nice. And then they were almost at war, weren't they, a couple of weeks later? So I just went at the right time. Wes, with Australia, once you've been out of the country for more than 5 years, you have to re-enter in Medicare and stay in Australia for 2 years. Okay, so we've got the NHS, haven't we? It's not brilliant in the UK, but you know, we have it. I'll put that up there. I won't actually speak about it though. People can leave it. People can answer you in the comments. Steve, yeah, that's a great question. You put, would you consider getting a bar? I would rather have my left finger pulled off my right hand, or somebody like twist my ear until it goes blue, then open it up. Do you know how many failure stories there are with bars? It's one of the biggest failures where people lose their money here in Thailand. It's the dream, isn't it? It's not about getting a bar. It's about living the dream. Guys come out here half a dozen times. They meet Nok or Wana or Bun or whoever it is, fall in love, and they think, you know, I could sell my house back in wherever I come from. I could buy a little bar on Soy 7. It's really hard to make business. It's really difficult to make a bar work in Thailand. I wouldn't know. I would do that's a lot. I would honestly say, if the only thing I could do to survive in Thailand was open a bar, I would leave Thailand, honestly. And I mean that, because it's just, even if it was successful, you know, your little mum and pop bar. I'm not talking about the big bars where millions gets invested into them, like I don't know, Hooters. I know they're not doing great at the moment, but those kind of massive Western bars, which take, you know, as much as they would in the West. A lot of guys will sell their house for a couple of $100,000, come out here, open a kind of pay key money, open a kind of bar. They don't do anything. They just put the drinks optics on the optics and a few tables, a little bit of music, and they think, you know, people will come pouring in. It's a really difficult game. I've seen, honestly, firsthand, I've seen a lot of guys lose a lot of money and go back to their own countries because they put everything they've got into this bar with this Thai girl who wasn't ripping them off. She was his proper girlfriend, but they've sold everything back home. They've believed the dream. They've put everything into the bar. It's not worked out. He hasn't done anything wrong. He just hasn't. He doesn't know how. He's not run a business. He hasn't promoted it, and it's such a difficult business, especially in a place like Pattaya. That, you know, a lot of them they've run out of money. They've got no other options, and they've had to go home. So a long answer, Steve, is no, I wouldn't. Kev, you get a lot of retirement homes and villages in Hua Hin. Okay, I can understand why that would be. Silver Trekker. Where are you? Hi, Peter. I wanted to thank you for the video, catching a bus to Pattaya. It was helpful. I was in Southeast Asia for 2 months. It was wonderful. Learned a lot from the trip. Now back in the UK. Regards, Deepak. I'm glad it was helpful. People don't realize, you know, they think, oh, I'm going to jump in a cab to Pattaya, you know, from Bangkok especially. But the bus is such a good option. You know, it's air conditioned. I'm talking about the state blue bus, not those little minivans, which I consider quite dangerous. I won't get in them. You know, you get a numbered seat, they're air conditioned. I think last time I went by bus from Edgarmire, it was 131 baht. Very, very nice. And took 2 hours to get down there. And, you know, that money you've saved will pay for your hotel night for a couple of nights, yeah? URL Superdroid. Now I know why you have a soft corner for Hua Hin. It calmed your nerves during your divorce. It was actually before there. But yeah, you're right. I just wanted to go somewhere. I mean, I don't want to bring all that up again. Not because I don't want to talk about it, but I don't want it to be boring. But, you know, you don't know. I'm not looking for sympathy even, but you don't know how tough it is. You know, when you live in a household with 3 women, you know, my daughters, you argue with one and the other 2 jump on you. It doesn't matter what you do. You're in the wrong, you know. And it gets to the point, it got so stressful, you know. I used to walk my dog and, you know, that used to calm me down a little bit. But it got to the point where I just had to get away from it. And I didn't want to go to Pattaya where people know me and stop me on the street. I didn't want to particularly be in Bangkok with all the pollution, the traffic and all the rest of it. And I thought, where can I go? I didn't want to go up country. I like towns that have got a beach. And I thought, I'll go to Hua Hin. And I just relaxed. It was really nice. I hired a scooter. I went for some drives in the daytime out of Hua Hin. I didn't know where I was going. And but yeah, I just, I had some nice meal. I went out on my own and drank a few beers, unwound, and it was very, very nice. URL Droid Superbot again. Now I know. Oh, okay, I've just read that. Roberto, Peter, don't forget all these French aerobics, as they're called in Pattaya, Phuket, total. Okay, try and understand that one. I don't know. I think you've been smoking something tonight, Tad. All these little messages. I like Swiss cheese. Good on you. Me too. Ronald, that's one thing I really don't like. You said, I had Duran today. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Duran, not Duran, Duran. Today, it is expensive. It's quite expensive, though. The smell is horrendous. The fruit. You'll see most hotels have a picture of a Duran. It looks like a coconut with spikes. Okay, it's green. And they just stink the place out. I remember I was on the beach and I was on one of those, those chairs that they have on Pattaya Beach. And it was about 1, 2, 3, probably about 6 deep. And there were 2 Thai women sitting on the front and I was sitting second from the back. I had to get up, pay the woman and go to another spot. It was just so terrible, so strong. I wasn't planning to, Tado. I don't know what all that's about. Wes, when I go to Patong Beach, I stay up the north end, less Russians. They don't seem to go into Nikki's handlebar, is it? Mostly Aussies and Brits. I don't know. I haven't been to Phuket for a long time. I've only been to Phuket once. I remember it was a CNN hotel I stayed at. I don't know if that's still there. But I've heard the traffic's horrendous down there now. Thomas, how you doing? Good morning, Peter from Niagara Falls. Lovely place. Not been there. I'd love to, though. Thank you, Anders. Stephen says, who is Ying? Ying is Wes's other half. Dog. Roberto, the real boss 2000. This is why I never wanted to visit Phuket in the first place. You don't see many Arabs in Pattaya. Oh, you do. Of course you do. You don't see many Arabs in Pattaya. You go to the end of the walking, Soy 16. So you go down Walking Street, okay? About 3/4 of the way down, you've got Soy 16 on your left. You go down there, it's all Arabic and Indian restaurants, Arabic and Indian hotels. All the plump bar girls hang around in that area. There's a lot down there, honestly. Florida Gator. Peter, I was getting fuel. Do you have any suggestions on condos in and around Hua Hin for someone to rent for retirement near the restaurants, bars, and close to the golf course? I'd just say stay in town. Don't go on the edge. I mean, if you want to be in town near the restaurant stuff, around Soy 94, that's a great area. Soy 80 is another good area on this side of the Pegasin Road. Just common sense, really. You won't live on the outskirts of town, will you? And you probably need some transport in Hua Hin because you do have, I think they've got Bolt down there, but you don't have the taxis and BART buses like you do in Hua Hin. Strange question, Paul. No, I've never been in a helicopter. URL, don't you own real estate in the UK that doesn't require you to go sometimes, or you use power of attorney? So I've got 5 small, what they call cluster homes in the UK. I bought them on mortgages, okay? So I don't really, I own them on paper, but the banks own them. The business model is that they'll go up every year, and but I have an agent looks after them, so they're rented out to tenants. I don't charge the same amount of rent as my other people because my tenants have been in my properties for a long time because I look after them. I'm about £200 cheaper than their next door neighbours. I just want to cover the mortgages. It's not about making lots of money to spend here. The houses of the future. What I'll eventually do, I think, with them, I'll probably sell 4 of them off. That'll pay for the 5th one, the best one, which is a little 3-bedroom semi built in 1970. And what I plan to do with that is then I'll put that into a trust. That'll cost me about £3,000. I'll make my daughters as trustees, and then my eldest daughter will rent it. And if she wants to, while I'm alive, and if I kick the bucket and she wants to stay in that house for a long time, then I'm going to put a clause in that says the rent she pays me, she has to pay to her sister. Otherwise, it's not fair, is it? Because she's living. But the whole point of having the trust is that whoever is the trustees, they're not going to have to pay any tax on it. And if they decide to sell it one day, they'll get the full amount of the money, and I won't have to pay the agent any longer for 5 properties. When you say to people, I've got 5 properties, they think, oh, he's rolling it, he's wiping his backside with $10 notes. But it's really not like that, because I don't see really hardly any profit, because there's always something going wrong, because the people who live in them, it's not their houses. There's always something that breaks. Like there's always like the boiler breaks down, or a tap comes loose, they need a new tap, or somebody moves out and the carpets need replacing, or the blinds need there's always something, and it's not cheap in the UK. So like I said, I just want to try and leave something for my 2 daughters. They're not going to get a lot, but I don't want to leave this earth and leave them with like nothing, because there's no way they'll ever get a house from the council, or they'll probably never be able to afford to buy one. Not in today's UK. I don't know about the rest of the world, but it's pretty sad. Yeah. Right, Colin, queuing etiquette from me, Peter. Okay. Robin the Chosen One, your famous Peter showed your stream to a few of the Tillet girls here, and they definitely know you. Really? Wow. I haven't been in there for ages, since last night. Actually. Right, Diamond D. Hello, Peter. What is the definition of the 3-day rule? Oh, that's an old one now, Diamond D. So basically, if you take a girl out of a bar, 3 days maximum. After that, you're going to fall in love with her, or you want to stay with her, and then it all goes Nat and Dave. You know what I mean by Nat and Dave, right? Ver 251209. It sounds like a telephone number. Beside the big suitcase, did you bring any other possessions with you to Thailand from the UK? Well, this is the thing, and people ask me this. The thing is, when you come to Thailand, you don't really need to bring anything except your personal belongings. And when I say personal, I mean, don't forget, I've still got some family in the UK. So things like photograph albums, old videos of the kids growing up, stuff like that. I mean, I left them all with my daughters and stuff, not because I want them back, but I know they've got them then. Like I took videos of them when they were young. I had one of those handy cams with the tapes in them. I've still got the camera so they can play the tapes. All that sort of thing I just gave to them. It's criminal, really, because in the UK, a lot of the stuff you can't sell. I mean, what did I sell when I left? I mean, I stripped the house bare. I actually threw away the beds. I left the 2 sofas for the new people. There were a young couple moving in, 2 teachers, actually. So they were very happy to keep like the fridge and the sofas and some built-in wardrobe unit, some chests of drawers and stuff. So I didn't have to get rid of them. I managed to sell some things, like I had a chainsaw for the big trees I had. I managed to sell my chainsaw, generator, anything gardening, petrol lawnmower, I think. Lots of things like that. And I left them all my tools. So in answer to your question, no, all I brought was my clothes. What else did I bring? Toiletries, obviously, but again, you can get all those here. I just brought all the clothes I thought I could use here in Thailand. That was it. Obviously, I bought my laptop. I wish I could have a big computer like I had in the UK, but I just don't have the room. I bought a lot of electrical things for YouTube since I've been out here. £300 for my Rode microphone here. Half a dozen cameras and lights, and yeah, that's it. Not a lot. Beyond says, greetings from Hua Hin. Yeah, lucky man. Terry T, I'm coming to Bangkok for the first time in July from Dallas. Oh, you'll love it, Terry. You'll love it. Colin, shouldn't there be a 3-day rule? That's too long, 3 hours only. Dog losing face. Tada, cooked in a smoker, usually is pink, freaks people out. Okay. Vida, Peter, how has the Thais changed your character to the better or to the best? Hasn't really changed. You mean being in Thailand? It hasn't really changed my character, but what it's done, it's made me a lot stressed. When I lived in the UK with my family, I was always stressed. I'd wake up, I was stressed. In the day, I was stressed. I got to bed, I was stressed. And it wasn't a nice place to be. But here, okay, when you live here, you do get bored sometimes, like you do wherever you come from. You don't wake up with a spring in your foot every morning just because you live in Thailand. But I'm a lot less stressed here. I mean, I've got my apartment. There's nobody telling me what to do. I can go out and eat. There's a park behind me. I walk it 5 miles every night, believe it or not. And it's just less stressful living here. And, to be a 65-year-old guy on his own in a foreign country like Bangkok, Thailand, it's just so much nicer than being alone in the UK. If you come from the West, somewhere in the West, you know what it's like. I would have no life there. What would I do? What would I do? I'd be in B&Q supermarket with a badge saying, Peter, happy to help. No, I don't want a life like that. Mike Lee, easy life, no wife. My wife was very good, actually. She didn't do anything wrong. We just got kind of we just got come to after 33 years, we just got to a place where we both thought, you know what, it's time to move on now. Patrick, I was listening to one of your story streams where the guy had to pay a bar fine from a massage shop. Are bar fines also from massage shops? Are you able to bar fine girls from regular restaurants? No, I mean, if it's a regular restaurant, it means it's a regular girl, isn't it? So they're not hookers, basically. The girls who work in bars and go-go clubs and massage parlors, for the most part, yeah, you can pay the massage parlor to take them out for the afternoon, but you've got to compensate the shop, right? And then you're with her, and of course, for a fee, she'll let you come back and play a game of Connect 4. You know what I mean, right? And but no, you can't go into a regular restaurant and bar fine a girl. That's a common mistake that a lot of guys think, that you can fly out to Thailand and every girl they see is available for a fee. Not at all, no. And you probably get a thick red ear if you asked her in a regular girl in a restaurant. Right, Wes, the DTAC was easy. Do it less than 72 hours before arriving in the kingdom. Yes, Thais are lovely people. Remember, I was telling you later after we had lunch about the taxi driver with the attitude. Yeah, I think we've all met them, Wes. Peter's bar sounds good, says Paul. Doesn't sound good to me. Martin Ryder, I made the switch from Thailand to Vietnam 3 years ago. Money goes a lot further. I don't think for me I need to make the switch from Thailand to Vietnam to make my money go further, but I think making the switch from Bangkok to Hua Hin, my money will definitely go further. I'll give you an example again. So I was walking along a street here in central Bangkok around Sukhumvit, bored outside a restaurant, regular Western restaurant where you get a Sunday roast or a pint, and I eat Thai food before I get those people coming in again. But there was a big poster then, it said special on Sunday. Sorry, not Sunday. Special of the day, early morning riser breakfast, only 350 baht. 350 baht. That's like, it's about £8, £9. That's the same as the UK. It's probably dearer than Weatherspoons, actually. You know, in Hua Hin, you can get a fry up at breakfast for like 120 baht, 130 baht. Thai dishes, when you go for Thai food, your average dish in a Thai restaurant. And now, before I get these guys coming in and saying I pay 50 baht because they're sitting at a tin table next to a cart on the street, I'm not talking about those sort of places. We know that, okay? We already know. You don't have to tell us, okay? I'm talking about if you go into a fairly decent Thai restaurant where Thais eat and foreigners eat, but it's a proper restaurant. You know, in Bangkok, you're probably paying anywhere between 140 and 180 for a plate of mixed vegetables or something like that. In Hua Hin, it's the same in Pattaya, actually. In Hua Hin, you're going to pay like 60, 70 baht for that dish. So it's a huge difference. So if you go out with a friend and you have dinner and you have half a dozen plate, you know, spring rolls, some vegetable dish, some chicken and cashew nuts, maybe some pork, something or other. You have that in Bangkok. You're looking at about 700-800 baht, and with a couple of beers as well. You know, you're over the 1,000 mark. You know, I was going out for dinner with Thomas, a guy I know who has a place in Pattaya, and we were going to I call it the night market, but it's got a different name. Right in the middle of Hua Hin, they've got a live band. And they've got these dancing girls, you know, they wear the frilly bits and pieces. They're quite entertaining. And we had dinner and we had a couple of Chang beers each, 65 baht for a large Chang, you know. And I think our bill was about 500 baht for the pair of us. So, yeah, I mean, you choose where you want to live and you've got to take your budget into account as well. I've just come to the point now, I think I've exhausted Bangkok. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I've just exhausted it. You know, the traffic, the pollution, the fast pace of life. You know, I just want to slow down a bit now. I think it's, who's this, Swedish Globetrotter. I think it's good that Thailand makes it more difficult to enter. Maybe we can get rid of some of the assholes who come here, I think you're trying to say. I've got a theory, you know, one of the things that hasn't helped is, you know what they legalized a couple of years ago, the big C that everybody calls broccoli, you know, that attracts some real low lifes over here. You know, that the fact that, you know, it's a hot country, you can get cheap drinks down on the coast, and that as well. I've seen a lot more of those kind of Johnny Bravos around, and yeah, it doesn't help. Diamond D, 98% of the bars fail in Thailand. Managing girls would be a nightmare. The thing is, with not all bars have girls. Regular beer bars are just beer bars, okay? Maybe they'll have a few girls in there, but the trick to a successful bar, just a regular bar, if it is going to be successful and they have half a dozen girls working there, you've got to have a mama-san in there. A foreigner trying to run 6 to 10 girls, it will never work, you know, or it's really difficult. What most sensible guys do who've got a bar, that's starting to work, which is rare. They'll have half a dozen girls, but they'll hire a mama-san to run those girls. So it's like two businesses in one. So you've got your bar selling your alcohol and your sandwiches or whatever you want to sell. Then you've got the mama-san who runs the girls, you know, and that's part of the whole package, as it were. Enormous Johnson, I like to listen to them punters get scammed. Makes me feel smart when in reality I am stupid. You know what? I don't know. I don't think you meant anything bad by that, but I don't think it's fair that anybody gets scammed. One of the biggest comments that get left on the story videos, when I read out the stories on a Saturday, things happen to guys and people say, oh, what a simp he was, how stupid he was, or he didn't have a clue, or he shouldn't have left his home country. And a lot of the time, yeah, you do get the odd guy who's a simp, as you want to call it. But a lot of these guys, it's not about being stupid. It's not about being a simp. You know, the girls are very, very good at what they do. They're very, very good. They're very convincing, you know. And a guy who hasn't been out here too often, sitting with a girl who's patting him down with a cold towel and telling him how, you know, how such a nice man he is, good heart, and she hasn't met anybody like him. It's very easy for guys to fall for that, you know. I mean, it's just something you have to experience. If you've been to Pattaya or, you know, the kind of bar scene, you guys, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? Ken, how you doing? Pity, your thoughts on broccoli smuggling? A lot of young people getting caught. Love your channel. Thanks, Ken. Well, again, because it's legal, it's a lot easier to buy, isn't it? When it was illegal, it was hard to, not difficult, you could get it, but amateurs didn't really know the score, right? But what's happening now, younger guys come out here, okay, and they have the time of their life, and young guys haven't got a lot of money, you know. They're working, and normally they work for a company, they save up all year, they come out for a couple of weeks, they go down to Koh Samui or Phuket or wherever it is, they meet some beautiful girl that seems to love them. He spends the time with them. They're eating out on the beach, romantic, you know, plate of fried rice every night. And, you know, he's with his girlfriend and the money runs out and he's got to be here. He's got to stay. He just cannot go back to his miserable life in his own country, you know, go back to whatever he's doing, you know, whether he's an electrician, a plumber, works in a factory, he's just dreading it. So what, you know, being young, you know, when you're young, you don't have the brains like when you're older, you know. That's why in the Second World War, all the pilots and you know, the soldiers and stuff, they're all 20 years old, because a guy of 45 would be like, get stuffed, I'm not getting in a Spitfire, do you think I'm stupid? All joking aside though, I think what it is with a lot of younger guys, they just got to stay here, and it looks like an easier option. And being young and stupid, they think they're never going to get caught. They get hold of these substances, think they can take them back to the UK, make $5,000, come back again and spend 3 months with their girlfriend. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, most of the time actually, you know, the police aren't stupid. A lot of people think they are, but they're definitely not. And CCTV is everywhere. There's undercover cops. They know what they're doing. And a lot of these guys end up staying here for free anyway, but not the sort of life they wanted to. Sorry you have to go to Pattaya for banking. Open a new account where you are and close the old one. I did. Yeah, absolutely. There's no point in me doing it now. If you want to know what that's all about, when I first came here, the first year, an agent did my long-term visa. Okay, so I was on a tourist stamp and I got my bank account. I had a different address, a different phone number. My bank's in Pattaya. I've never changed anything. But I found out this time when I went into the bank, if your account is older than 2 years, this is what the bank told me. If you've had an account with them for over 2 years, they're not investigating it. It's only the newer accounts. But I went into the Bangkok bank on Sukhumvit Road and I said, look, I'm on a different phone number, different address. Here's my long-term visa, because I want to see you're on a long-term visa now. They won't do tourist visas now. And she looked at my bank book and she said, oh, your account's in Pattaya. You have to go to Pattaya. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. You know, in any other country in the world, you join a bank, you can go to any branch anywhere and get it sorted. But it just so happens I had to go to Pattaya anyway. I popped in and she was like, wow, you haven't updated this book for 3 years. They gave me a new book. They noted my new address, new phone number. They took note of my long-term visa. I'm absolutely fine now. But yeah, I mean, what I'm planning to do, I was planning to do exactly what you've suggested, but there's no point in me doing it now because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in this apartment in Bangkok. At the very minimum, what are we now? We're June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. I'm going to be here for at least 7 months. I'm planning, if it all goes well, somewhere in the quiets, in the low season, you know, November, December and January, the high season, I'll be here. Prices are up, aren't they? And then we take a dive in February, and that's when I'll start to seriously look. I'm probably going to have to pay the rent down there and the rent here for a month, just while I sort it out. And once it's all gone through and I've got the contract down there, that's it. Then we're away. It's bound, as I say. Wes, Scuba Steve, too competitive now, quieter. Some with starting a motorcycle hire, taxi service. I have long-time friends in Patong, and they are moving back to their home provinces. Right, that's very generous of you, Tada. Right, Tada has just given out 10 memberships. If you, I think you'll go green now if you've got a member. So how it works, anybody on here can buy 5, 10, even 50 memberships and just give them out randomly. So Tada's bought 10 today, which is very generous. And he's just, YouTube decide who has them. If you want to be in it, in case somebody buys memberships, there's 3 dots. Looking from your end, there's 3 dots, and if you click on them, you can opt to be in for a free membership. So if you've just got a membership, thank Tad, because it was him who's bought them, and you hopefully we'll see you in the members stream a little bit later. But remember, they only last for a month. If you like, getting the early viewings on my videos, and you like the members stream, then you need to update it every month. Okay. Where are we? That's done already. Someone says, T-Money, that AI music sounds like disco Thailandbound. There's some bars already playing it because it's not copyrighted. Somebody asked me, do you mind if I play this in the bar? And there was a few bar girls sitting around, and that song was playing over the sound system in the bar, and the girls were, giving it that, and it's amazing, I mean, absolutely amazing. Okay, Tada, I book my hotel room when I'm in the head. Do you mean ahead? Wes says Melbourne, pronounced as Melbourne. Okay. I'm right. I jumped way too far here. Bear with me. Dutch Farang, how you doing? Nice to see you signed up again. We'll see you in the member stream as well. Right, Jim. Did you head back today? Or yeah, Swaddy Crab from Manila. Yeah, you went today, didn't you? I didn't forget you were flying. Okay, so Jim is the guy. If you look at my Facebook page, I was out with Jim, and we both had a Leo in our hands. I uploaded that on Facebook, and Jim's now gone back to Manila today, unfortunately. But we had a good weekend. We went for a few meals, and yeah, it was good fun. So I'm glad you made it back okay, Jim. I'll see you next time. Okay, Tada. Right, Alec. Last Monday, June 6th, ThailandQnA was at a very dangerous level, 152. Unbelievable for Canada. I survived, therefore I know that my weak lungs can probably handle Thailand. So the thing is, Alec, it's not bad all the time here in Thailand. It's only during the burning season. Of course, in the middle of Bangkok, it's going to be not as clean as the air on the coast, for instance. But I use ThailandQnA, and I'll be honest, I used to check it every day, but I'm not even looking at it now because the burning season, I think, kind of stopped. Okay, so look, I'm in the center of Bangkok, okay? I'm probably 10 minutes from Nana Plaza that way, 10 minutes to Soy Cowboy that way, okay? That's what it is. Oh, you can't see it because it's actually green, and because I've got a green screen, it won't show up. No, it won't. But I'll tell you now, the PM 2.5 levels are 11. 11. That is really good, I've seen it at 40 in the UK. During the burning season, it was at 200, even higher at some places. Paul Hoskins, I love a plump bar girl, works out cheaper per kilo. I'll take your word for that, Paul. Patty a Penguin, I'm currently in Cebu, Philippines. Can't wait to get to Thailand on Friday. Been here 3 days, no boom. Oh, you won't need to worry about that here, but bring a nice fat wallet for sure. Dr. Diff, oh my God, not plump bar girl. Say it's not so. They tend to hang around the Grace Hotel. I'm not saying anything more than that. Louis, thanks again for that. What are you saying now? Peter, please make Pattaya is ruined, and I'm not coming back again. Video in Hindi. We need it to keep. Duran is the best. Well, I kind of get what you're saying there. Thanks for the super chat, first of all, but I don't speak Hindi myself. Can hardly speak Thai. Yeah, I mean, it's you need to go down and have a look for yourself first. It's not as bad. It's just because I've been here coming to Pattaya so many years. I mean, I first went down there in 1994 for a weekend, a week or whatever it was. I've kind of outgrown it now, As I said earlier, I'm an old man now. I'm 65, right? Travel Gamer, helicopter, good song. Martin, you can hear. Okay. I don't read these out first. So sometimes I start reading them. I've got to stop, Trying to find a sensible question now. I can get that's Martin's giving some valuable information on Vietnam there. Short time is around 1 million dong. I don't even know what the dong is a currency, right? URL Droid, you said, what's with your chin? How did you get that? Shaving, if that's what you mean. Let me just get that in bigger. Do you mean that? That's shaving, and that is called getting old. Okay. Okay, Peter, what if Hua Hin gets overrun? Well, it's time to move on, isn't it? Bang Saray or somewhere like that. There's always somewhere nice and to go. It won't get overrun. I mean, a lot of people won't go to Hua Hin because you have a few streets of girls, but it's not nothing like Pattaya, Some people find it a bit boring. Dutch Farang, not sure who you're talking. I can't pronounce that name. I made some Thai friends in Thailand, and we also meet up in Amsterdam. Okay. I think I mentioned before, I found the Thais. I met some Thais in London, and not saying anything bad, but they're completely different. Once they're married a Farang and gone overseas, they're not like the Thais in Thailand, if that makes sense. I went to make a video in London. I've mentioned this before. They had a Thai festival. It was right in the middle of London. I can't remember. It was on a common or a green, and they have all the food stands, and they had a ladyboy show, and it's all Thailand, visit Thailand and that. And I was walking around and I was smiling at people, and a lot of the Thais, they didn't smile back at me. It was very kind of it was a strange feeling, because if you're walking around in Thailand, you smile, people smile back at you. But in London, and there was a girl, she's got a massage shop, and I went up to her and I said, "Oh, where's your massage shop?" And it's on Ealing Road. And I was like, "Yeah, how long you been here?" Blah blah blah. And I said, "How much is it for a massage?" She says, "Oh, it's £30 for half an hour." I'm like, "Wow!" Just to give you an idea, let me do a quick calculation on that. £30. Let's take it at, let's say 43. Okay, so 1,002. So we'll do it. That's half an hour. So if you go to London and you want a Thai massage, it's going to cost you 1,290 baht. Ouch! I'll never complain about 300 baht again. Siege in Paradise. Tada, there are bars in Bintabat, Soy 80 and Soy 94. Just those three places now. The problem in Hua Hin with the bars, there's just too many of them. When I went there a few years ago, you only had Bintabat, which was really lively near the Hilton, and then you had Soy, I think it was 88 or 80. It was kind of like a kind of very poor walking street, but it was one street that kind of went down to the main road and it had bars on each side. But you've got Wonderland now on Soy 94, huge place, loads of bars, and most of them are empty. I mean, they don't know when to stop putting up bars. I think build a bar in and we'll get rich. This is a Thais as well. Where's even Sydney? Is that Sydney Siders? Can't get it right. Cranbourne is pronounced Cranburn. Berwick is pronounced Berwick. Okay. You say, I'm just listening to the stories, has me worried. Okay. Right, so you guarantee now, if you leave a comment, I'm definitely going to read it out because I've come to the end of the comments now. So I'll just twiddle my thumbs and see what comes in. Right, Stephen James, knocking shop, making love. Paul, can you scuba dive in Hua Hin? I think the best, I don't know if you can, Paul, but I think the best scuba diving in Thailand, you can pretty much do everything in Thailand, can't you? I think the best scuba diving in Thailand is definitely off the islands, basing yourself at Phuket and going to the islands. And they do the paddy courses and everything here like they do everywhere else. I haven't looked into it, but I've never been to a place that doesn't do paddy courses like near beaches and stuff. Paddy is a recognized kind of diving course and certificate that you get. Okay, CJ in Paradise. Years ago, Soy 80 and Binta Bar, Soy 95 is on fire with bars. Yes, Peter, you're right. But when I did you read mine, says Franco? I'll go back. I didn't put it in now, Franco, because I didn't see it, and there isn't many comments to read out now, so I'll see it straight away. Yeah, there is a lot of bars in Soy 94 Wonderland, but the problem is nobody likes to go to a bar that's empty, right? If there's not many people there. The ones right on Soy 94, as you go over the railway lines, there's some bars there. They have people in them at night, but the ones, if you go into the kind of market and you turn left, there's a big bar complex in there. They always seem to be quiet. Andy, what's something about daily life in Bangkok that most tourists or outsiders completely misunderstand, but you experience firsthand? That's a great question, actually. Nothing that you can point out like, oh, it's this. What tourists would miss out on is you get to know the city a lot more. So when you come here for a week or 2 weeks, even if you're one of those people who gets up early, has a buffet breakfast, and you're out all day and you're just jumping off the BTS and you're walking around areas, and you do that every day, you're on a limited time. And what happens is when you live here for years, you keep finding new things. It's like, you'll come across a little market somewhere, or you'll come across a restaurant that you didn't know exist, or under the subway, there's a burger place you didn't know existed. And life becomes a little bit mundane here. When you come here on vacation, it's, like I've said many, many times, you land, your bags in your hotel, down to stumble in Soy 4, cold beer in hand, eye candy. Wow, I've landed in heaven. But when you live here, that kind of goes away to a point. And you do become, you get into a routine. With me, it's YouTube. That keeps me busy. But I don't go out much at night. Maybe it's my age. I enjoy a beer at home and watching a bit of Netflix and stuff like that. But what I'd say in answer to your question, I'd just say you just learn a lot more about the city and the people when you live here. It's just you would anywhere you go, right? Rusty Graves, if you want a fantastic Ruby Murray in Hua Hin, Everest Restaurant is a place. Well, of course, living in Hua Hin, I will definitely be looking for a good Indian restaurant. But I've decided, I was speaking to Rita, one of the girls in the New Bakara Indian restaurant. That's my favorite place at the moment here in Bangkok. I've done little video clips in there before, and she's told me, she says, you know what, Peter, we get a lot of people come into our restaurant because you do them little video clips. I think I've done it twice. I've just been with like Steve and a guy I know, and I've like, look, here's the food. We're going to chow down on this. It looks delicious. And they appreciate it. Let me just see what Franco's saying here, if it is Franco. Okay. Right, no, it wasn't Franco. I thought you were going to leave the message again, Franco. Let me just check. Okay, nice one, Franco. Yeah, I'll put that up on screen while I'm talking. Yeah, so I said to Rita said to me, she said, she said, oh, it's nice of you to give us a mention. I wasn't really mentioned. I was just looking at the curry. But I went there the other day and they don't give me nothing. They've never given me a piece of naan bread free even. And I said, they're nice people. The food is excellent. The curry is excellent, like we get in England, and the staff are really nice and they take care of me. And I said, you know what, Rita? I said, I'm going to do a proper video on this restaurant because I've never done one. And it's right in the center near Nana BTS. And there's a lot of English, especially, come out who love curry, and it's like, if you sit down and you have like a rice, a naan bread, a chicken curry, and a drink, you're looking at about 500 baht, right? What's that? It's £11, not overly expensive. And I said to her, I said, I'm going to come here and do a proper video. I'm going to put up a map on the show where exactly it is. I'm going to come in, film the staff. I'm going to, film the food, and I'll do a proper video, and we'll see what response we'll get. And I'm going to do that because they are nice people. Let me just say thank you to So Call. I can't pronounce that. So Call a wrench. So-called a wrench, is it? Thank you very much for the $5 there. I'll get a nice drink with that. I do appreciate that. And Alan Duncan, welcome to the membership. Hopefully we'll see you in the member stream at 9:45 Thai time. You'll find with the member stream, the first half of the stream is similar to this stream. I'm just talking like nonsense to everybody. But the second half of the stream, we have competitions. I've got Spot the Ladyboy competition, Spot the Thai Girl competition, Joke of the Week, the Manga Minute, just a bit more going on. Okay. Well, I've never understood, like, if there's 300 people in, why don't, if you're watching, you're obviously enjoying it, why don't people hit the like button? I've never got that. Right, Red Light loves realities. Love your content. You tell these stories with real clarity and heart. I share similar experiences from Southeast Asia, and your work truly inspires me. Subbed and much respect. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your kind words, and I'm not just saying that. I really do. If you've got any stories, get them down in an email. Get them to me. I'll make them anonymous, and I'll read it. You can hear your own story on here. Rusty Graves, have you bumped into Bangkok recently? I haven't, not recently. I don't tend to go. I've been invited to these kind of YouTubers get-togethers, you know, and I'm a kind of bit of a lone wolf, believe it or not. I don't really go to them. I kind of make excuses. People will say, "Do you want to?" You know, there was one at Hemingway 2 weeks ago. I think he was there, and there was a whole bunch of other people. And I said, "I'll get there if I can," but I'm not really that. You know, I just like to do my own thing. You know, I go out and shoot a few videos, talk to the camera, meet some viewers. I don't really like these get-togethers, and I don't really want to do like a members meetup or something like that. It's just not my character, you know. I did a couple of videos with him last year and the year before, but not for a while. I think somebody mentioned that already. Indian restaurant is in Hua Hin. Did I not say it's called the New Bakara? Big blue sign outside. You can't miss it. The New Bakara. It's only a little place, but it's got aircon, and the girls are nice. You know, they speak good English. They're Indians, but they're not from India. They're from, I think it's Laos they're from. Samuel, good morning to you, sir. Andy, has anyone ever asked you a question in chat that made you go, yep, this person has never been to Southeast Asia? Many, many times. Not once, many, many times. You know, comments where guys, not so much in live streams, but guys will leave comments or send me little messages on Facebook and stuff. And they're like, they'll say something, they don't think it's stupid because they really believe it. They'll say something like, oh, I'm coming to Thailand next week. I'm staying in this hotel. Do you think it would be possible for me to have the receptionist come up and, you know, stay with me for a few nights if I pay her? And maybe some receptionists do, you know, or you know, the female taxi driver that's taken me to my hotel. Do you think if I give her 20,000 baht, she'll spend the week with me? That sort of guys tend to think they can like just pay out money and any girl will sleep with them. And then I'll think, no, that guy's never been to Thailand before. Or guys who come out here who think they're going to come out here on sort of $800 for a month and have a great time. You know, I mean, no, watch too many YouTube videos, the wrong YouTube videos. Dr. Diff, I found a great Jamaican curry shop in Kyoto, is it Kyoto? I can't pronounce that. You know, I've never had a Jamaican curry. I've had a Korean curry. I've had a Japanese curry, Indian curry. What other curries are there? But I've never had a Jamaican curry. That's interesting. I'd try it. Thank you, Sam. You appreciate that. Reggae Vibes. That name was Social Lawrence. Social being Southern California. The Gormless Twit. I'm eating on my phone, listening. Rather, I don't see the like button on here. That's a good point. A lot of people, they could be driving, listening to the live stream. They could be on their phones, at work. You know, it's not always possible to hit the like button. If somebody's sitting in front of a PC, then yeah, it's easy to hit the like button, isn't it? But hopefully, when people watch this on the rerun as well, hopefully some people will hit the like button. James Jordan, I hit the like button as soon as I got here and wish the dislike button still existed, in effect for people like Alpha Omega. He's all right. He just likes to rant. If you don't know who Alpha Omega is, he's God, I forgot his Dave, Irish Dave. He's actually okay, but he does like to rant. That's his thing. You know, he likes to complain and moan and whine and rant, and you know, but deep down he's got a good heart, I suppose. Franco says, you heard from Damon. Is he there now? I have, Franco. Damon's in Pattaya now. He's going to be there for a couple of days, and he said he's going up to the village. Stephen, I'm going back to Cali. I don't think so. Uncle Nene, have you had to do any serious dental work in Thailand? I haven't had to do any serious dental work, but I decided to have. I've mentioned this lots of times. Okay, I spent 93,000 baht on veneers on my bottom teeth, and I will show you them in a minute, which I have done before. So if you're eating, look away. But they look really good now. Look, see these? Because my teeth weren't bad, but they were, growing up as a kid, they were chipped and they weren't perfect. I had gaps and I had the odd chip where I had an accident when I was young, and they weren't pretty. They weren't rotten or bad or anything, but they just didn't look great. And I used to watch my videos and think I could improve there. So I had these done, and they look great, and they're porcelain, and the rest are okay. I recently had two caps redone. I had them done in Pattaya 25 years ago, and I start to get a little bit of, not, I wouldn't say pain, but uncomfortable sometimes. And I went to a dentist in the UK, and she said, oh, it's up here, so we'd have to kind of operate and go inside here. Load of bullshit. I went to the dentist here that I normally go to, 38,000 baht. He took the old caps off, cleaned it all up, put the new porcelain caps in. Haven't felt a thing since. So yeah, nothing I've had to do. It's great. The dentists are great here. Rusty Graves says, nightlife areas, I'm Pat Pong man, as I've always found the girls there great, had a great attitude. I think Pat Pong's had its day. I really do. I mean, I used to like it 20 years ago, but now I find it very, very quiet, very quiet. L. McHugh, I've eaten at that restaurant. Absolutely delicious. It is. I used to go to the Al Hussein. I used to go on about that one on Soy 3/1 or Soy Arab. And yeah, it's okay. The good thing about that place is the new Baccara closes at 10 p.m. So if you're out on the piss and you're in Nana Plaza and you get leathered and you come out at 2 o'clock in the morning and you want to eat something serious, you can go across the road into the Al Hussein and get yourself a good Ruby Murray, nice hot curry, as it were. That's their Cockney slang for curry, Ruby Murray. Nice bit of naan bread, get it all down your shirt as you do when you've had 22 beers. You're going to go home. All the curry runs down the front of your shirt. You go home. I once spoke to a bloke who was in a guy who was in the RAF, and he was telling me him and his they had some kind of graduation. They went out for the night, and he brought a pizza home with him that he didn't remember. He said when he woke up in the morning, he was scratching, but he couldn't feel anything. He couldn't understand it. And he got up and he looked in the mirror, and the pizza was kind of stuck to his face, so it was making him itch. So he was kind of scratching the pastry, but he wasn't feeling it. Funny. Right, how long have we got? I've got about 6 minutes. Let's get as many people in as we can. Okay, no worries there. I have met guys are joking about the hotel receptionist, but I have met guys who swear blindly that they have had dates with the receptionist of their hotel. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But in Thailand, anything's possible, isn't it? Thank you very much. I hit it now, 66. Right. Diamond Sand Rust 68. Re your bank branch drama. The K Bank branch where I opened my account has now closed down. Shows how financial the requirement to go to the branch you open the account is. Is that farcical, rather? Shows how farcical the requirement to go to your own branch. I think in that case, yeah, I know where you're coming from, but I think in that case they would reassign another bank or say, yeah, okay, fine, take it to our head office or something. I've got an account in K Bank as well. I keep a substantial amount in there in case I have a serious illness, just for an immediate response. If I had a heart attack or a stroke or something, I've got the money sitting there to be able to pay for it. This following step after that, I don't know. And I also have an SBC account. I don't like to keep my funds in one place. And I definitely won't keep large amounts of money in the UK because Rachel Reeves is going after everything and anything. So I keep the majority of my overseas cash with Wise. They're a money service. They're not a bank. I mean, Rachel Reeves, just, you got a few £1,000 in the bank. She'll want to get her hands on it. Colin Moore, do you have any advice on private pension while in Thailand? I'm struggling to find something. I don't know anything about pensions, private pensions. I'll be honest with you, Colin. There are guys here in Bangkok who specialize in that. In fact, if you go on the internet and type into Google private pension advisor, something like that, because it's a major city, 10 million people, you can get everything here. So there will be people who can advise you, but I don't want to give you wrong information. Tada, laugh out loud. Should be a movie. The Receptionist. Yeah, be a good movie. XXX. Thank you, Red Light Realities. I don't know what you're calling that. Right, Ivor says, booked yesterday, Qatar, £692 for September. That's come down a bit. Dog, the receptionist rise of the Farang. Just on these pensions there, I never got a pension. One of the reasons I bought those properties when I was in the hotel industry, when I left, I had a fair bit of cash to put down those deposits, you know, and I thought I don't want to blow it. I'll do something, and that was going to be my pension, that and my old age pension, which isn't a lot. Wes, thanks for sending me the YouTube video on the Honda ADV. Definitely the bike I want when we move it. Terrific scooter, best judgment I ever made. Riding a Honda Click after the ADV is like riding a plastic coffee cup. J.O. Coffee. Hi, Peter. Good content. My experience of coming home from my trip in Pattaya and not really being able to talk about the culture has been strange. People just don't know what it's like there. They can't. You go back to the UK, America, Australia. If they haven't been to Thailand and you say you've been to Thailand, it's like, oh, yeah, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It's when you meet somebody else in your local pub who's also been to Thailand, you can have a good old talk. Dutch Buddha. Pete, have you noticed that there are fewer tourism than usual? Yeah, there is. It's very quiet at the moment. Terry T, can you find Peter, make him come to the bar and make him stay short time? Wes, I have a few. I'll get living there. I'll get them replayed. Okay, I'll put that for you. Ronald, are the restaurants serving fish and chips, etc., run by English? I don't know. There is obviously in Pattaya, there's some English guys who run in fish and chip shops and cafes that do fish and chips. I like the Royal Oak on 33/1 at the moment. Their cod is excellent. 199 baht every day of the week. A few frozen chips, but I can overlook that for the price. Okay, guys, we're almost there. Just see if there's any more questions before I go. Don't forget, I'll be coming back for the members stream. That's in about 15 minutes, well, 17 minutes from now. Lots of bits and pieces going on. I've got some local news articles, some quirky stories, Spot the Ladyboy competition, the Monga Minute, Spot the Asian Girl, Joke of the Week. It's all happening. That's in about 16 minutes time now. James Jordan, Reeves robs from the British to fund foreign wars. You're better off out of it. Starmer will destroy the UK. When you say he will destroy, don't you mean he already has? Rusty Graves, I don't know about the receptionist, but the roommates are often up for it. Interesting. Paul, you're into the cleaners, aren't you, in the malls, if I remember? Okay, any of them missed out here? Martin Ryder says, my mate got a BJ from the housekeeping lady. Very nice, but what does she look like? It's unbelievable, isn't it, really? I mean, when you think about it, I don't mean your comment's unbelievable, but when you think about it, you come to Thailand and you can do that with a housekeeping lady, and it's just nowhere else in the world, is there? Okay, guys, it's that time, unfortunately. I'm going to have to scoot, fill my water bottle, go for a quick wee there and get the member stream up, get it all ready. Okay, look, guys, I did get a couple of super chats tonight, so thanks for them. Thanks to Franco for moderating once again. Thanks for everybody who's watched the stream. I've enjoyed it. I hope you did. I'll be back for a regular stream in about 2 weeks' time. If you remember, I'll be back in 15 minutes with a regular member stream, and it should be a good one tonight. To everybody else, thanks a lot for watching, and have a great weekend. Well, the weekend's over. Have a great week, I should say, all right? Cheers, guys.